This is Jorcation. Welcome to my video. Now, today is going to be 26 life lessons for a 26-year-old. I just turned 26 last month in February, so I believe I have 26 life lessons for everybody to kind of learn from and understand. And, I haven't been on YouTube for a very, very long time, so, I hope to kind of bring more consistent videos. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, support the channel, support the small channel. So we go from here. In terms of the first one, this first group of lessons, I would put 5 into this group of lessons of the 26 lessons, is career and ambition. Now, within careers and ambitions, I'd say your degree, where you studied, yeah, it's not the ceiling, it's not the top, it's not what you actually need solely if you want to pursue a career, especially in finance, because I'm speaking from a perspective of working in finance. Now, you would want to upskill yourself to be as proficient as you can in finance. So you want to work in, if you want to work in finance, you want to work in banking, investment banking, private equity, hedge funds, major banks, whatever you want to work in, right? You have to be proficient in certain skills that you would need on a day-to-day running. So that could be Python, that could be working with Bloomberg terminals, that could be working, even just pitching, sourcing. These, within these things, you have to have the skills, delivery, how you're going to email, contact, communication skills. You want to be able to solve problems, especially in Excel. You have to be proficient with Excel to an extent. If you can't even navigate Excel, if you can't, create a table, all these different things, try and practice learning to build a financial model. That's one skill I'd say you need to learn at your 26. Remote work is a discipline test. Yeah, remote work completely is a discipline test. You could be thrown into a scenario, especially like me, which is amazing, is that I'm working remotely for a firm based in New York. Now, I'm in London, so this is a real test of time, test of how I manage my time. Right now, it's about half five in the morning. I'm making time to shoot YouTube videos. Straight after this, I will be doing some work, and then I want to be going off to another work that I have as well. So, you've got to really manage your time really, really well. Especially if you can't, then it's going to be very difficult for you to even manage a team. And yeah, that's the second one. Internships require you to manage the full deal cycle. Now, this goes from sourcing right through to closing. Now, within that, there is a lot of work. And you have to be able to, utilize your experience, maybe if that is your communication skills, your Python skills, your emailing skills. One thing I always say is, like, if you're emailing somebody in your team, straight to the point. Not unprofessional emails. It's still got to be professional, of course, to an extent, but try not to keep it so long-winded. Try and keep it as, I would say, punchy as possible. Direct, straight to the point, because everyone is moving, everyone's trying to work, and it will be a lot easier for your team to know exactly what it is that you've sent, rather than them having to read a story before they get to the main point. That's what I'm trying to say. Technical skills, fourth point. Technical skills are non-negotiable. Yeah. You have to have some form of technical skills. You have to know how to code with NumPy, some programming language. I started with Python. I've gone on to C++, C. So obviously, if you have experience with Python, you'd probably be, I would say, proficient enough with Java as well. It just depends on your skill set and level, but ultimately, it is a great thing to have in terms of a skill set in investment banking. So that's 4. The brutal truth about investment banking. Now, investment banking, I personally say, there is a misconception, I wouldn't say misconception, but there is a view from the outside that it is very, very glamorous and it is very, very rewarding. But a lot of people don't realize that it does take a lot of hard work within it. So I'd probably say it's 10% glamour and 90%, what's the word? I would say 10% glamour, 90% due diligence. So if you're And pitch decks as well, because you need to literally make anyways, yeah, it is quite full on. And I'd probably recommend to anybody that is getting into investment banking that they need to spend time really evaluating whether that would make the most sense for them, just based on the points I mentioned before as well. And if they aren't proficient with those points I've made before, the fifth one, then obviously look into how you can be proficient with them, or consider maybe something that's more suited to you. But of course, like most things can be learned, it just comes to managing time and finding time to study or to train or to be the best at what you can do. Yeah. So we're going on to 6, 7, and 8 and 9. So the next ones is money and trading. Now, risk management and trading is very, very important. I believe the first thing you should learn when learning to trade the financial markets as a retail investor, or even working within corporation trading or whatever scenario you're in, whether it's practice, the most important thing you need to know is how to risk manage, because in order to be a profitable trader, you have to know how to manage your money. Now, you want to be put into a scenario, there are many different trading strategies. I'm not going to give you a trading strategy, but I'm just going to let you know that if you want to be a successful trader, I have passed many proprietary trading companies, challenges. I've been funded up to 500,000, in companies, just one company as well at one point. FTMO on many occasions. Started from a 10,000 account, practice, then I went up, I passed 200k accounts, 100k accounts, 50k accounts. I'm going to put a certificate here of a challenge, certificate here of a verification. I might even put both, or two different verifications, but ultimately FTMO is I'd recommend it as a proprietary trading company if you want to learn how to trade as well as trade virtual money. Going on to the next point. Quantitative models remove emotion. I would say, especially with this whole movement of AI, artificial intelligence, it's becoming a lot easier for certain things to get done, but ultimately we are in control of how they are getting done. So I'd say learn to build, if you can build a quantitative model or a quantitative script that can process your model, I'd say, learn about how that can be affected if there were incorrect data, correct data, positively, negatively, and it's not an emotional thing. I would say it's remove the emotion, right, from using quantitative models. Essentially it is. So if you want to learn how to be extremely good at what you do, learn to do it on your own. 8. Diversify your skill as a candidate in a role. Diversify your candidate as a skill, being an entrepreneur or business person. You've got to diversify your skills. You've got to know and understand how to do multiple things that can make your life and solve your problems in a more easy way. This can be very, very simple for somebody that is, I would say, multifaceted in terms of their career. Somebody might come into an investment banking scenario with a bachelor's degree in medicine, for instance. They might have a master's in maths, but that diversification can help you, especially if you want to learn to have some skills such as coding, such as even within your communities. If you're very skilled in building communities, these are all things that can help and lead to having a good diversified skills portfolio. Currently at the moment, I'm doing my CFA. I've got that scheduled for the end of the year. So that is obviously one of the things I'm doing to diversify my portfolio. Budgeting is a strategic leadership skill. Now, managing a student event budget, well, I didn't do this specifically on my own, but working with a budget ultimately is really, really important. I would say, you know, especially in today's day and age where you want to be able to have freedom to do things you enjoy, right? A lot of things that we want to do, such as sports, travels, buying nice things, it requires money. Now, if you have the money to do things without having to worry about these things, then great. But if you don't, I'd even still say manage your money if you fall into both groups, because that will give you even more freedom to do more things or to save more so you can do more things later. Especially in corporate, you know, you want to be able to budget. You know, if you don't have the life skills to budget, it's going to be very difficult for you to budget in a corporate job, you know. So you want to be able to budget, you know, and that will kind of help you with your skills in your future job.